Hello, and welcome to this special media presentation all about Vision 2020. It's our goal to keep you informed and up to date on everything that's happening here at Colonial. I'm here with our esteemed pastor, Dr. Robert Anderson Jr., and we'll be joined later by First Lady Jacqueline Anderson and some of our other church leaders. So for newer members, some of whom may be completely unfamiliar with what Vision 2020 is, what is Vision 2020, and what are the major themes or pillars associated with that vision?
I am so glad you asked that question. But listen, Vision 2020 is our effort to kind of look down the road and see where God is leading us. It's kind of like when you're driving a car, you want to look ahead. You don't want to drive looking back. Even though God's been doing some wonderful things in the past and even now, but looking forward is trying to answer the question, well, what is God going to do in the future, hopefully? And that's what 2020, that vision, is all about. You mentioned 4 areas.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Do you want me to give you those areas?
I would love for you to give
all
us
right,
those areas.
Great. One of those areas is worship. We want to make sure that our worship is kind of keeping up with the times and ministering to our family as effective as we can be. Another area is fellowship. For a lot of people in our church, they love fellowshipping together. How can we make that more dynamic, and how can we enrich that time one with the other? Another area that we're talking about is evangelism. Evangelism is winning people to Christ, and there are many ways that we want to encourage people to share their faith. And then lastly, the area is discipleship. That really ties into the Great Commission that Jesus gave to his disciples there in Matthew chapter 28.
I understand, Pastor, too, that one of the areas for goal number 1 is Jesus is exalted and the area of worship. Can you talk a little bit more about how we can diversify our worship service, bringing in young people, bringing them to Christ, many elders who may not have an opportunity to get to church? How can we utilize Vision 2020 to bring that group in?
Well, I tell you, that's it's a challenge, first of all, but many things that we have been doing kind of relates to that. First of all, one of the things we've been doing, even with our young adults, we have a encounter service that the young adults do a couple of times on a Saturday night, and trying to reach out to other young adults and millennials. Another thing we're trying to do that ties into some of that is diversifying some of the music that we do, and we have different music groups. We have a wonderful music director, minister of music. I forgot his name, but no, we have a wonderful music director, Glenn Shelton, and the different groups that he's been utilizing. And in fact, we even now have activated a children's choir.
Praise God.
And that's been a part of enhancing the worship service. And then one last thing, there are many others, but one last thing is that we've tried to manage the time a little bit better, and we try to, trim it down to 75 minutes. We don't always hit the button, but especially in that 8 o'clock service, we try extra hard.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we want to encourage everyone to pray about Vision 2020. And as I said before, Sister Anderson will be joining us in just a moment. While she's coming, let's take a look at this. Thank you, Pastor.
For their fellowship.
Pero él tenía un amor por su congregación, por esta congregación.
This is how I feel colonial.
Y así, en la misma forma, como me siento con la iglesia de Colombia.
Has a love for your fellowship.
Como esta tiene el amor para con ustedes.
Thank you for joining us, Sister Jackie.
Sure.
Well, we've been talking a little bit about Vision 2020, and I'd like to shift the conversation to be a little bit more specific about what's happening in the women's ministry that's connected to Vision 2020. We heard about the 4 major pillars, and women in ministry seems to be connected to all 4. So can you tell us a little bit about what Colonial offers women and how it's connected to that vision?
Absolutely. Our primary program is our life program. That's where we come to do Bible study together. And then we also have what is called fellowship classes, where we break up into small groups so women are able to teach and learn from each other. And the third part of our life program is our outreach ministry teams. And that's where we go out into the community and we minister to people, whether it's the elderly or whether it's working with teen pregnancy or working with prison ministry. So we have a number of outreach ministry opportunities that provide women an opportunity to go outside of these walls and minister. So we are glad that God is working through women at Colonial, very much so. And it's for His glory and for building His kingdom.
Praise God.
Yes.
Praise God.
Yes.
And we thank you so very much, Sister Jackie, for
Sure.
sharing how Colonial is connecting women to the 2020 vision.
Absolutely.
And I think we have a few clips to show you.
So, you all are here at the Chapel Hill Nursing Center today. How often do you come?
Every third Sunday,
Every third Sunday. How long have you been coming?
8 years.
8 years is a long time. So, what do you usually do when you come?
We sing, preach, pray, chat with the residents.
My name is Susie Ashley, and this is Brenda Wade. We're here at the Augsburg Nursing Home, where the Colonial women have been ministering for at least 10 years.
And I think you all have experienced it personally, the power of mentoring, what it can do for you as a mentor and as a little sister. So it's a two-way street. Sometimes I hear mentors say, I grew more than my little sister did.
I am Hazel Drummond.
And I'm Tiange Wayne, and we are from Sister to Sister. This is my big sister.
My little sister.
Are you all having a wonderful time?
Yes, we are.
Welcome back. I'm here with Deacon Chris Massey, the leader of our men's ministry. Tell us a little bit about what the men's ministry is doing and how it's all connected to Vision 2020.
Good question. So I think when it comes to those 4 pillars, first thing that we're really concerned about with the men's ministry is the Bible being explained, men being taught discipleship. And we do that a lot, particularly with our men's Bible study. We're currently going through the book of Ephesians inductively. The other thing we do, we have a men's forum, men's fellowship, every first Saturday of the month. And that is a time for us to get together to worship. We open with worship, we pray, and we also help build the men up in different areas. This year is focused on relationships.
Okay.
Another thing that we do in terms of the community and the fellowship, we sponsor and set up a number of what we call fellowship events.
Okay.
Things such as bowling, we went paintballing not too long ago. And I encourage the men to come out, join us for those. They're good times where we get away from the church, we get together as brothers, have some good fun, and just get to know each other more and build those relationships. So those are 3 major items that we have.
Every morning I get up. 1, 2, 3, and 4 people have been killed. Our young black men is killing each other like flies. And if you ask them, they don't have no reason for it. That's just what the devil is looking for. A way to destroy mankind.
Welcome back. I'm here with Pastor Barry and Sister Sabrina to talk about children's, youth, and young adult ministries. Tell us a little bit about what we're doing and how that's connected to Vision 2020.
I am so excited to see how children are just connected with Vision 2020. This year, which was designated the Year of the Child, we've had some phenomenal events, starting with our Easter egg hunt, which had over 300 children and parents as well. It was a wonderful event, just getting to know our community and loving on our community a little bit. After that, June, we had our first annual Children's Day, where we had our children take hold of the service similar to where our youth and young adults do. And we even had one of our little ones do CNN. It was a great time. And we're ending up the year actually with our first annual Fall Fest and Trunk or Treat. Again, we just spent time with our community, loving our community, and just letting them know Colonial is here and we are a light in our community.
Amen. Do you have anything additional to add, Brother Barry?
Well, I think it was real exciting that we had our first college day.
Wow.
Where we had Towson State, Stevenson, where we sponsored a day where college kids could come and worship with us and lead through the service. And it's exciting to see what God's doing in and through our community.
Thank you for joining us. In closing, we want you to be prayerful about how you can get involved in something that helps us to become a multi-site and multicultural church where Jesus is exalted, the Bible is explained, people are loved, and disciples are made.